In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to digitize your own kawaii cat design. And best of all, we're gonna digitize it to go on this hat. So stick around to the end to learn all the best tips and tricks. Welcome back, Legacy family. It's so good to see you once again. And if this is your first time, hi, I'm Ken and I'm here to teach you all about digitizing and embroidery. Today, we're utilizing the Embroidery Legacy Digitizing Software. And if you want to learn more information about it, all of the links will be in the description. So let's open up our design by clicking this button right here and we can load our backdrop. Now this is the little kitty that we're going to create today, and because I'm going to be digitizing it for a hat, I want it to be around 2.2 inches in height. Now one of my favorite ways to resize an image is to simply create a square. So all I'm going to do using the software is to create a quick little square, and I can see that under the properties of that square, it is currently 3.49 inches. So I'm going to change it to 2.2 inches, and that is the square right here. So next, I'm just going to select my image, and I'm going to resize that to be the height of the square. Now, you'll notice that when it comes to images and whenever you import images to your software, sometimes there are these boundaries. So although the cat is only around here, the software will consider this whole image to be the height, which is why I like creating a square, because then I can just kind of resize the image itself. And now I know that this cat is going to be 2.2 inches in height perfectly, and we can get started with the digitizing. Perfect. So now that we got it there, I'm just going to right click onto the cat one more time, and I'm going to bring down the opacity so it's a little bit easier for us to see what we're digitizing. Awesome. Now that we're done, we can then go ahead, grab that square that we created and delete it because we won't use it anymore. Now, when it comes to making designs like this, I always love doing the outlines first, so I'm going to take care of doing all the black outlines. And because we're doing it for a hat, we want to ensure that we go from the bottom up and from the center out. Now, we do have a digitizing cheat sheet and video available, so if you guys want to learn more about the digitizing basics, you can click that link in the description so you can check that out. I highly suggest, if you're just learning how to digitize, you check it out because it's worth it. It has so much information and it's free. So link will be in the description. Now let's get started by changing a couple settings. I'm just going to disable a couple things like snap to anchors as well as auto tie, and I'm going to enable smart join because I'm choosing my preferred method of digitizing. Now here on the widget tool, I have my artwork tool, my run beam. I'm going to use my classic satin, and for my density, I think I'm going to do 0.6 density. So that's pretty good. And because we have this smart join, we don't necessarily have to think about so much of like where to connect everything. It'll take care of itself. Let's get started by, let's say, olive green. I'm just going to pick a really nice green so that I can show you guys what I'm doing. And my main goal, you can see right here, I'm 570% in. I don't want to be zoomed in way too much. 2000% is too much. Around 500, between 300 and 600 is pretty good. So I'm gonna maybe start over here because I do need to create this area right here, and I want all of these satin outlines to be at least 1 millimeter. So you can see if I turn on my 3D, that's 1 millimeter. Before we get started though, let me just go back, and I'm going to change my recipe by clicking up here, and I'm going to set it up so that it has no recipe because I don't want any underlays or anything like that for this design. So if you guys are playing with the software and you have a recipe in mind, like if you want to create a shirt or something like that, then that's a pretty good way to save some time because it'll already come preset with those settings. Here, I'm just creating these little outlines, and as you can see, I am not worried at all about creating these, the start and stop, because the smart join is such an amazing, wonderful tool that it just kind of takes care of it all. Now here, like I said, I want to ensure that I connect everything. So on my widget tool, I'm going to press 1 because those are my hotkeys, and it's going to open up the run stitch tool. So using the run, I'm just going to connect all the way here, and then I'm going to switch back by pressing 2 on my keyboard to my classic satin. And it will remember that it is at 0.6 density, which means that I can continue utilizing that same density, saving so much time, making digitizing so fast and so easy. And as you can see, I'm just pressing left and right. I'm doing left and right. and or up and down. And all I'm doing is doing left click so that I can put these satin outlines down, creating these styles of shapes, which is looking really, really clean. Now, I am kind of breaking my own rule of starting from the bottom because I really did start from up here and then went down. But I personally think it's important that we connect everything. So, although I did break it a little bit, it is going to be worth it in the end because we're saving a lot of time and a lot of jump stitches from, not connecting. This way, we just save all that extra time. Perfect. That looks pretty good. Awesome. So let me just then now go down this way. Here we can create this. We can just, I like to angle them because if it's 0.6, it almost will start looking a little bit like fur. And I really like the way that looks in the end. So here I'm just doing left and right, or one node and then the next one, point counterpoint, to recreate this felt look to it. You can see I pressed enter. The smart join is taking care of creating those smart joins. So perfect, closest point. And here I'm still gonna ensure that I kind of leave it at an angle, something like that. Very nice. All right, let's keep going. Now, if you notice that in this tutorial, I am going a little bit faster, that's because by now we have a few lessons available on the software, and in the future, when there's a massive update, we'll begin slowing down once again to review everything that we've seen so far. Look at that. Within a couple seconds and a couple minutes, we're already up here. We have that textured look of the cat, and what do we want to do? Do I want to create this right here? I think I do. So let's do that. But before I continue adding all of these details over here, I almost want to, try to go back to my rule. So you pressing one enables the run tool, and I'm going to connect utilizing the run tool all the way down here. We're just going to bring it all the way back here. Perfect. And I'm just going to take care of these paws really quickly by creating this first. So like so, just going to do that one first. And let's do this one. Cute little paws. Cats are just so cute. Do you guys like cats? Let me know down in the comments. Do you prefer dogs or cats? Let's see who likes more. And I'm just going to create this little area right here. Perfect. For me, for the longest time, I was very much so a dog lover, but I don't know. There's something about cats that is just really cute. They are very soft and adorable. I mean, as long as you get along with them, because some really do enjoy their own space, and I think that's probably why I respect cats. Yeah. Let's see, I'm just creating a little pause like so, just going around trying to keep them a little bit at an angle to make it look really nice and cutesy like that. Perfect. And let's keep going this way, keep it at an angle. Let's do it the opposite way instead, like so. If you backspace, when you press backspace, you delete one node and then you can continue. Here, I'm gonna just kind of connect over here by switching between 1 and 2. And again, it's the hotkeys. 1 is the run tool, and 2 is the classic satin that we've set up for you guys, just so that it's really fast, really quickly to digitize designs like this. Perfect. All right. So you know what? Although we can do the whole face right now, I am going to skip that, and I'm going to then press 1 so that I bring up the run tool, and I'm going to connect all the way up here to do a lot of these details right here. So again, I'm angling them. Oops. Let's just add one more run stitch all the way there so that it connects from that spot. Perfect. And perfect. And perfect. Awesome. That is very nice. And we can just do this little ear right here. Let's just angle all of it going up and down or left and right. Something like that is great. I like that. All right. Should we continue? Let us create another connection from here. And let's just start from this hair up. So something like this. I'm just going to angle them as best as I can. Yeah, that's really cute. That's really, really cute. And here, I'm just going to connect this from here. Perfect. Let's just go back and forth. And something like that. Perfect. Now, I do want to start it over here. And let me just angle this properly. And I think we can now finish the rest of this whole outline. So let's go around while trying to angle it just a tiny little bit to create that nice and crispy looking outline. Like so, and go all the way around. I'm currently just right clicking to create curve shapes and then left clicking to finish it and pressing enter like that. Let's, if you want, you can disable the backdrop and look at that. We have a really cool outline of the kitty. Now, if you see that some parts you're not necessarily the biggest fan of them, no problem, because all you do is you press W on your keyboard and you can change the angles of these. You select the shape, you select the area, and just with W, you're selecting it. With Q, if you press Q on your keyboard, or if you don't have the keyboard and you just want to change it using the buttons, go into your path edit, and then you can change the path or inclinations. All right, let's put back the backdrop. Perfect. Now, right here, very important step. We want to ensure that we trim this little last stitch that we made here. Let's go to our sequence view, and we're going to go to our first one. We're just going to do a tie on. Then we're going to go to the last one, and we're going to simply do a tie off as well as a trim. Because once we trim, the machine will choose to trim, and then we can continue with the rest, which is right here. We're going to take care of that next. All right, so let's do these parts right here. Perfect. I'm just going to do this and then do this one right here. Perfect. Let's do the nose. Oh, the nose is going to be so cute. And we can do this one right here. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my run stitch, and I'm just going to, from this end to the other, kind of create a connection like that. And then we can finish up this one right here. Perfect. Yay, that way we're not jumping at all. All right, let's go back to our sequence view. And what's the first one that we created? It was this right here. So I'm just going to select that one. Again, I'm going to do a tie on. And then the last one, I'm just going to do a tie off and a trim. I really enjoy doing tie ons and tie offs manually because it helps me remember where it is that I want to finish a design. Now, you can enable the auto tie if you prefer, if you rather just be a little bit more automatic, but I prefer having full control over the stitches and tell the machine exactly when it is that I want things to stop. All right, so now we have the whole outline done. I'm just going to select all of it, turn it into black, and while selecting it all, I'm just going to go under my sequence view and lock this design because I no longer want to be able to modify it, accidentally move something. We want to stay away from, touching the objects that we no longer want to work on. Okay? Perfect. So step number 2, now that we've done the outline, I like to do the highlights and the shadows. So let's take care of those next. I'm going to press 65 all the way to the end, which is like somewhere around here, below me, underneath me. There's a 65, which is a very light gray. And I'm going to get started to create these. All right. For these, I think we can pretty much leave it at 0.6. I'm not too sure yet. Maybe let's do a 1mm density. Yeah, let's do a 1mm. Let's make it a little bit more spaced out. And I'm just going to go left and right. Oh, you know what? Let's do it green so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going left and right to create it like this, left and right. And because we have the smart join on, it's so simple. You guys have no idea how easy it is to digitize when you have the smart join enabled. Oh man, I don't even have to worry about changing my start and stop anymore. It just takes care of itself, and it makes digitizing so much easier and faster. Here, I'm just gonna connect this to add that little paw part. So cute. And let's add that little one right here. And again, left and right, left and right. We can probably finish it somewhere around there. Here, I'll just add a little bit of this little chin. It's so cute. And we're also gonna add a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one right here. We're gonna add, let's say, a little bit of this right here. We can probably add the under the eyes like that. And you know what? While using the brush tool, so right now I'm using the classic satin. I'm going to switch by pressing 1 to my run tool. I'm just gonna kind of create like a little bit of a hair going up like that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because although I could jump, I think I'd rather just connect everything. Again, it all goes down to this idea that we're trying to avoid just creating a lot of jump stitches, a lot of trims, and because the fur is kind of blend in a little bit, I'm not so worried about this little thread being right there. So again, I'm just going to kind of create these by going left and right, you know, just adding a few of these little highlights. Even here, for example, if we want to, we can kind of create this one right here going down so that it makes it even and it doesn't even look like, whoa, like what is this random thing? It almost looks like it was meant to be there. Perfect. And I'll add another one here just so that we can connect. Now, because we made the outline already, we can utilize that outline to travel underneath of it. That is the beauty of making your outlines first, is that you no longer have to guess, oh, can I use this as a pathing? Can I not? Because their outline is there, you can take advantage of all of it. And here, I'm just going to kind of create these little whiskers, this ear, little hair, like so. Create a couple of these back and forth. Perfect. And here, I'm just going to create these like little highlights. Honestly, I'm not being so picky with this design. I'm just kind of like whatever it is that I see that I could add as an effect, I'm going to add it. Ultimately, depending on the kind of cat that you choose to create, you can really add more highlights or less highlights, more shadows. Play around with the style that you want, that you think would look really cool. For example, here, although there wasn't any highlights right here, I wanted to connect that area, so I just created my own highlight, and so can you. It's all about being creative and not locking yourself under any boundaries, under any boxes. So here we go. I'm going to utilize the outline that we've already created to continue connecting all of these tiny little highlights over here. So again, I'm just gonna go around here. Oh, and I just realized I broke the rule once again because I'm working from up down. Oh boy, I guess today is gonna be a little bit of a test on how good this design can come out because it's not necessarily following at 100%. I feel like I just kind of went like a little bit too crazy going all over the place, but I'm okay with that. And you know what? Because I made this little stitch line right here, that might actually look a little bit obvious. So let's try to connect all the way back here through these little paws, the outlines, and let's try to almost like recreate that. So something like that. But I'm then going to add a second one like this, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm kind of adding a couple extra stitches because I'm trying to like connect it all, but it's okay. I think it's not a big deal. And that's it. Perfect. I like the way that looks. I think it's awesome. And as you can see, there are no jumps. So here we go. We started on this one. So on our sequence view, we started on this first one right here. I'm going to do a tie on. Let's go to the last one right here. And we're going to do a tie off and a trim. Awesome. Oh, didn't mean to close it. Let's collapse all on our sequence view, highlight all of those, and I'm just going to select the light white. Perfect. Awesome. Now, of course, this looks really weird, and the reason why it does is because currently the white is on top of the black, but what we're going to do is put it underneath the outline. So now you can see all of those little connections that we created are now gone. Zero, you can't see none of them. Perfect. And what I'm going to do before we move on, or you know what, let's save the whiskers for last because we can take care of them after. So we're done the highlights. What's next? Let's take care of the shadows. All right, so for this same thing, we've already selected 1 millimeter density as well as the run stitch. Let me just pick more of a dark gray. So here I have a dark gray that I've just selected, and we're gonna do exactly the same thing. So I'm just gonna go around creating these shapes. Oh, it's good that you can kind of see this one actually. I was a little worried that you wouldn't be able to see, but you know what? Because there are a couple of like shadows, I'm almost just going to like double up. You can see I'm doubling up on a few of these. I feel like that's going to add some really awesome texture to this design. So some of these, because we're working with 1 millimeter density, I'm not so worried about going twice, potentially even 3 times. And what I mean is like this, for example. So have some stitches go on top of each other. I think it'll add such a cool effect to this design. So let's go up, up, down, like so. Just add a couple of those. And let's go up, down, add a couple of those. Here we go. If I'm going really fast, it's because this is honestly the way that I feel like it always kind of comes out best. If I just kind of take a little bit too long doing each one of these strands, sometimes I just overthink it a little bit too much. So to avoid that, I just kind of go left, right, without ever giving myself a chance to think about it too much. Overthinker tip. All right, let's keep going this way. And let's just create a couple of these right here. As you can see, I'm just going left, right, or yeah, point, counterpoint. I guess that is the more accurate way of saying it. And let's create this right here. Again, if I want to add an extra one, I can, but I think I'm good like that for now. Perfect. Let's add a couple of those. Point, counterpoint. There you go. Let's see if I zoom out. Oh, that's so cute. And then here, I'm just going to exaggerate this because I do want these shadows like that. Here we can do the same thing. Almost kind of like exaggerate this. I don't want to add too many though, because then it might just be a little bit too dark depending on the kind of grade that I utilize. I guess we're going to find out, huh? And here, I'm just going to take advantage of the outline once again to travel around that area because there really aren't that many shadows up there. So I don't really want to overdo it if there aren't that many. Here, let's go up and down or point counterpoint like so. Perfect. And here again, point counterpoint. Cool. All right. Are we missing anything? No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty much done with that shadow. So let's grab it over here, sequence, let's grab the first shape. We're going to do tie on, go to the last one. We're going to do a tie off, and we're going to do a trim, collapse all, grab this one so it highlights the whole thing, and bring it underneath the white. Yeah, looks awesome. Now here is where you can, if you want, introduce one more gray. So there, if you want to put like 2 very similar grays to add more effects, let's do that. Why not? You know what? Let's just do it. I have not done this before, so this is going to be the first time, and it's either going to look really cool or really weird, but I'm taking a chance. So 2 millimeters, we're going to do a semi darker gray because we're still going to use a base gray. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to add a couple hairs the way that this design is going. Now, I'm not going to do all of them, okay? Maybe I will. I have not decided yet, but I'm going to just do a couple of random hairs like this at 2 millimeters in density, something like that. And we'll see how it comes out. Something like that. We can kind of return this way because this is 2 millimeters. I'm not so worried so much anymore about, overlapping on top of other things. I feel like it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine and it's going to look awesome. Here we can probably add a couple more right here, like that. We can probably add a couple more right here. And we can probably add, just on the face, the cute little kitty face. All the way around. Let's add 2 right there. 1, 2. Am I going a little too crazy, guys, with this? Potentially. I may have overdone it just ever so slightly, but it's okay because I love experimenting with all of that. Okay, I'm done. No more adding more more gray. Perfect. So we're going to grab the first one. We're going to click tie on. We're going to grab the last one and we're going to do click tie off and trim, collapse all. And let's bring this gray all the way up here. Cool. Very nice. Now we do have one more thing to do, or two actually, but the first thing is going to be to do the base. So for that, I'm just going to click on my artwork tool and let's select a lighter color because I think what we just used was a little bit of a darker one. And I'm going to make sure that I lock everything else. So let's just lock all of this. We don't really need to grab it anymore. So I'm going to lock it all and let's create, I'm going to divide all of these shapes a little bit like so. So first I'm going to create the tail and I'm just going to overlap it a little bit like so, pressing enter, then convert to fill. Let's do there, start, like right here in the center, and I want it to stop probably there is fine. We'll change the settings in a little bit, so don't worry too much about that just yet. Let's then take care of what I guess, well, while we're here, let's just take care of this part right here. Perfect. I'm just going to overlap it a little bit. Perfect. Start. What angle should we set this to be? I think that's fine. And then we can get to start and stop. Where do I want it to start? Probably here. Start and stop. Perfect. Next, let's do the artwork tool once again. And just overlap this like so. Just put it right in between that outline, overlapping the face ever so slightly. Perfect. And overlap these again ever so slightly. Perfect. I like it. Okay, outline. I'm probably gonna get it to go like this. Start and stop. I think that's where the start and the stop is. I might have forgotten, but that's okay. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is gonna be the cat face. So cute. They're gonna go around and just kind of go in the middle of these. And again, overlap these just a little bit so that there are no gaps. Perfect. Enter. We're gonna do start and stop. And start, well, I don't know where I started and where I'm stopping, but I'm gonna make sure that I stop up there. Perfect. And for this, let's just set it, path edit. Let's just make it start over here. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll set this to stop over here. So start, where is this one starting? Starting, stopping, starting, perfect. Now let's change some settings to these fills because we don't really need it to be so thick. So I'm gonna select all of them. Again, you know what, let's change the settings first and then we'll do the auto tie in and out. Density is currently at 0.4. I'm probably gonna do maybe like a 0.9 millimeters. I'm not, because the hat that I'm doing is a very similar color. I almost prefer having less stitches than more stitches. Stitch length 4 millimeters, that's fine. And what I'm gonna do, let's do 0.9. And the fill pattern, I think I'm just gonna do something like I don't know, what do we do? Like a zigzag? No, a zigzag doesn't look that great. Maybe a pattern 29. Pattern 29 is kind of cool. Pattern 25. Pattern 25 looks awesome. So we have lots of patterns to play around with. So if you guys want to check those out, again, make sure to click the link in the description to learn more about this program. Once again, I'm going to highlight all of them because I forgot one crucial thing, and that is to add an underlay. So I'm just going to add a perpendicular underlay and I'm going to change the density to 4 millimeters. We don't really need it to be that dense. So now we're good. We can select that first one. We can do a tie on. We can go to the last one. We can do a tie off and a trim. And what I'm going to do is just highlight everything. Bring it to the bottom. Isn't it so cute, guys? I love this design so much so far. And we have one more thing, technically two, so let's take care of one for now. And that is going to be the whiskers. But I see this little like white outline that I really like. So let me take care of that outline first. For this, I'm going to use the steel tool. And let's use a 4 millimeters width. Perfect. I'm just going to select the white and I'm going to use a fast draw. Now for density, let's put her at 0.6 and I'm just going to go around this whole design, around that edge of the black color. Perfect, so that I can create that awesome looking outline. Something like that, go around, and very fast, very simple. Just by left clicking and right clicking, you can create your own steel. Pressing enter, there you go. Now for this steel though, I do want to close it up, and we have an option in the software where if you go here, you can see close shape. I'm going to press that, and now the shape's been closed. If you want, you can edit the path. So for example, I'd want this to start down here and end down here. So that's perfect, and I'm just gonna set that up to be somewhere, I don't know, around there. That's perfect. Now let's grab this, put it underneath the black color, like so. Yep, that's looking much better. If anything, let's put it under the pewter, the base of the gray, like that. Even better. That looks awesome. And let's go all the way to the bottom. Yeah, let's just put it all the way to the bottom. Why not? See how it'll come out. And the last thing that we have to do is to create the whiskers. So using the run tool, the length at 2.5, that's perfect. Let's create some whiskers. So we're gonna do 1, 2, go and return, 1, 2, go and return, 2, and 1 and 2. It's a little hard to see, so let me do that again in like a green. Do 1 click, return, 2nd click, return, 3rd click, return, and 4th click, return. You see, those are some whiskers, and I'm gonna do the same thing. 1 go, return, 2nd click, return, 3rd click, return, and 4th click and return. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. And the last thing, again, remember, tie on, tie off, trim, tie on, tie off, and trim. And we don't want it to be green, of course. We want it to be white. So we're going to change these to white, and this one, just so that it's continuous, I'm also going to set it to white. Perfect. Before we change the size of anything, we need to unlock everything. So I'm going to highlight it all. I'm going to unlock it, and now we can highlight the whole design. So everything. You can also press this button to select all. And under our properties, we're going to go to the transform, and we're going to do 2.4. Perfect. Yes, we got the kitty. So now let's just press play. We can press Shift R on our keyboard, as well as you can come up here to view slow redraw. And let's see, it's going to create that little outline, then that, then that, then the face. It's going to do the shadows, the highlights, the outlines, and the whiskies. And that's how you digitize a design. But we're not done yet. We actually have to go test it out. So I'm gonna go put this design on the hat, and I'll come back with the end result. And there you go, guys. That's the end result of this kitty cat design. I love the textures that we were able to add to it. Now, I did notice that if you can see this white outline that we created, we ended up putting it right underneath. So it's basically the first stitch that happened to it. In the next iteration, I would end up modifying it to put it second to last, maybe underneath the black, as well as add a general underlay to it all so that it holds out a little bit more. Now, of course, it really also depends on the kind of hat that you're working on. This is like a semi-structured, I'm not really sure what to call it. It's like very foamy, so it really depends on the hat that you use. Always ensure that you guys can do a little test out before you embroider on your final fabrics, because if there are any mistakes, then you can ensure you can fix them before the final product. Now remember that with digitizing, you're constantly improving, so even if you didn't get the results that you were seeking, continue practicing until you can create the best version of the design that you want. For more information on the Embroidery Legacy software, make sure to click the link in the description, as well as download the cheat sheet to get started with your digitizing journey. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys would like to see next, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. In the meantime, meantime, go check out these videos next. Take care, guys. See you in the next one. Kitty.